Hi folks, David Fine from Watch Your Lip. This is your Fast Fish How to Beach Fishing series where we're going to help you become a more successful beach fisherman. And guys, today we're going to be talking about a very specific item that's most important for a fisherman. What type of rod, fishing pole, do you use when you go to the beach? We're going to start from the low end, budget type of fishing, all the way up to like, hey, beach fishing is my thing, I'm going all in. So guys, stay tuned for this informational video. If you've gone beach fishing once or twice, you'll quickly find out that fishing from the shoreline has its own set of challenges, and in fact, probably one of the most unique tools that a beach fisherman will have in his arsenal is what type of rod that he uses. And so we're going to give you some pointers as to how to be successful with surf fishing. And let's start with a low budget. Like if you're just somebody who occasionally goes out fishing and you don't have a whole lot of money to spend on getting different types of rods for different scenarios, then you can get like a 6.5 or 7 foot rod that will, you can use on a boat or a pier or wherever else. And you can go out to the beach and have a good time. But if you're going to say, beach fishing's my thing, the longer your fishing pole is, the better. And there's a number of reasons why. And it's the 3 W's, guys. Wind, weeds, and waves. You need to get your line above the shore break. And so that is very, very important if you want to be a successful beach fisherman. Unless it's one of those flat, calm summer days where there's no wind and it's super calm, then any fishing pole will really do. If you're going to fish in any kind of surf churning conditions where there's any kind of waves, where there's high current, where there's seaweed, and it's the shoreline that really is tumultuous, and where the wind, if there's an east wind pushing in seaweed and the shore's breaking, if your line is low and it's getting caught in that shore break, you're going to have a very, very difficult time keeping your bait in a place where you're able to present it to the fish that you're trying to catch. So that's why the surf fishing rods are so tall. I'm suggesting, and I've actually gone to a longer and longer rod as I've developed in my beach fishing years, but I'm actually going to an 11 or 12 foot fishing pole. Some guys go even to 15 foot. Maybe one day. Right now I'm at a 12 foot rod. I've got a couple 12 foot spinning rods. I've even got my 4.0 wide spools on a 9.5 foot star rod. I know those are those big 4.0s, and they're on big, thick 9.5 foot conventional base reels for fishing on piers and beaches. And so guys, what does that make a difference? So when your rod is in your sand spike on the beach, the sand spike, in fact, I got a sand spike right here. So here's your sand spike, guys. This is actually a 5 foot sand spike. And so now you hammer this into the ground and you angle it out towards the ocean a little bit. So your rod is already, the butt of your rod or the reel is going to be right about here. So you're already 5 foot off the sand, okay? Now, how long your rod sticks up past that is going to make a big difference in how successful you're going to be in some wavy conditions. And so the 12 foot rod sticks up another, 8 or 9 feet on top of this. And what that does is if you use a heavy enough weight and it's able to hold your line in place, you cast it out far, and that angle of trajectory puts your line way above the breaking waves, and it keeps it out of the heavy current that comes up against the shoreline, the waves, the weeds, the wind, and all those types of things that you're avoiding all of that, and you become a lot more successful. So if you really want to get into some surf fishing rods, and that's going to be your thing, bite the bullet, guys. Go and pick up some surf rods. Depending on what type of reel you're going to get will determine what class of rod, but get some surf rods, 11, 12 foot. Your life is going to be a lot easier if you're going to do a lot of beach fishing. Trust me on that. I've danced to the tune. I got away for a long time using 7 and 8 foot rods. I've got a lot of 7, 8 foot star rods. I love using star rods. They're great. They've been great for me. I've had some star rods over 20 years now, 8 footers. And that's great when conditions aren't too wavy. You know, if it's manageable, or if I'm going to hold the rod, then it doesn't need to be quite as long. But if I'm going to set a couple poles out and there's any kind of waves at all, the long rods definitely work a lot better. Now, do you use spinning reels or conventional? Guys, that really becomes a matter of your preference. A lot of people aren't comfortable casting the conventional reels. Well, we have a great tutorial on how to do that. I love using conventional reels because you can really whip them out, and I really enjoyed the Jig Master, the Penn Jig Master. It's about $100. But we also are inviting a lot of newbies out into the beach fishing realm, and those conventional reels that you have to level wind can be a problem for people that are new to fishing. So that's why we're doing a lot more spinning tackle. So we're using a lot of Penn Spin Fisher V's. I've got some 6500s. I've got some 8500s. You know, I've got my 12 foot Ocean Master. That's a $200 rod. And so that's on, I've got my Penn Spin Fisher 8500 on a 12 foot Ocean Master rod. That's literally like a $400 combo, guys. And it's not cheap, especially if you're gonna fish 2 or 3 rods. But guys, that rod and reel, that would catch the biggest tarpon that's out there. That would catch pretty much any shark that I might hook. I've got, I don't know, 500, 600 yards of 50-pound braid on that reel. And so it's got a lot of line capacity, and it's a super strong rod, and I can cast it a mile. So that's a great reel to use. So just about anybody that comes out with us, if we hook up on a fish, we can hand the rod over, and all I have to do is start cranking. Guys, that's a pretty pricey rod. I have another rod that we are using on my Penn Spin Fisher 6500. It's the Power Stick, and that's done well for us. That's $100 just for the rod. So Ocean Master, $200, Power Stick, $100. We found some 12-foot ugly stick rods, I think in the $70 range. They're very, very flexible. I like a little bit more backbone in case we get into a big tarpon or something like that. I like to be able to have a little bit more backbone. So both, so far, I'm very impressed with the Ocean Master and the Power Stick. They've done very, very well for me. That's great. You can go cheaper. You can get cheaper models, and you know, Bass ProShops got a whole bunch of different options for surf fishing. You take your pick, and you can take a look. The Ocean Master's done really well. The Power Stick's done really well on the spinning gear. Now, if you're going to go to conventional, I recommend, if you're going to go to conventional, don't do a 2-piece. I'm going to go for a 1-piece blank on either a star rod, or I've got some Crowder rods, which are really, really expensive, but they're really good. And I've been very, very impressed with those combos, and they've done very, very well for me. And so those rods, man, like you can put a lot of pressure, a lot of bend on those, and they're not going to break, and they do very, very well. So very hardy. Guys, one of the things that we beat up our equipment pretty well. We have a lot of people using our stuff that have never used fishing equipment before. And so one of the things that you got to look at are the eyes of the rod. And so when one of those little eye rings pop out, then your fishing rod almost becomes unusable. And so it's very important to get a rod with high quality guides or little eyes on the rods, because if those pop out, then you got to take it in, or if you're good with, you can fix that stuff, and good for you. But most of us have to take it in, have a guy put a new one on, and it's 10 or 20 bucks every time you're missing an eye on a rod. So to avoid that, get your good sturdy eyelets. You're going to spend a little bit more money, but you know, that's the way it is. Now, even if you're fishing for smaller fish like bluefish or pompano or things like that, or even snapper fishing, and you're using those longer surf rods, I always say bigger is better, because you never know what you're going to hook into, and it's better to have a lot of line cap because you're launching it way out there. You have a heavier system, it's a heavier rig, and you want to have that ready for you so that in case you get a big fish hit, you're not caught empty-handed. So if you're going to hold your rod in your hand and maybe like cast some lures or something like that, that totally changes everything. You know, if you want a lure rod and you're trying to launch it way out, the big rods, the big surf rods, they have a lot of whip and they can be really good for that as well. But if you're just throwing lures and, you know, in the surf for snook, you can go down to a 6.5, 7 foot rod and go really, really light and have a lot of fun. And so, guys, it all depends on what you're targeting, but most of the time, most of our surf fishing experience, your longer rods are going to be beneficial, and you're going to thank me, because if you don't have them, things get very, very frustrating very quickly when your current and your weeds are just pulling your lines in because you're not high enough to get them over the surf. So, guys, another thing that's very important is your sand spikes. We already kind of mentioned that. Make sure your sand spikes are nice and long, and make sure you have the right amount of weight for your line class and for your rod, because if you use too heavy a weight, you're going to break your rod or break your line. You're going to lose a lot of weights. If you use too light of weight, you're never going to hold it on bottom because of the current and the seaweed. So make sure you get those two things squared away. We have videos that are going to tell you all about what weights to use, what line to use, and all that. That's all coming soon as well. But guys, if you have any questions on the rods, comment down below. I'll be happy to share. We'll probably do a few more videos on this because this is a very diverse topic. There's a lot of different types of fish that you can target. Everything from, you know, little pompano this big to, you know, big tarpon and black tip sharks. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hope you click the bell for notifications, because we've got plenty of videos like this. And let me know if there's anything that I can do, any videos I can put out there that would help you become a more successful fisherman. Guys, take care. God bless. Stay safe. Let's go rip some lips. Watch your lip. All right, Lorenzo. Hey, no. Okay, watch out. Watch the line. He's got it.
Second shark.
All right, Lorenzo.
Your second shark? No.
It's a blue runner. real big one. I think you need to tighten it up.
Wow.
Take it off, dude. Dude, it's gonna spool.
Hey, what's on there? The barracuda? Huh? That's a barracuda head.
Yeah.
Barracuda head, guys. It could be a tarpon. It could be a shark. It could be a barracuda.
It's gonna spool him.
No. He's got a lot of line on there. He's got a lot of line, guys.
All right, here we go. Go.
No. He's still going. He's still going.
No, he's not. I
No?
need to tighten the drag. Now he's going.
Whoa, boy. You see?
It's gonna go to the buoy, Poppy.
I don't want to tighten it too much.
It's gonna go to the buoy.
It's all right. It's all right.
All right.
It's all right. Come on. Here, bring him over the top. Bring him over the top, guys. Bring him over the top. Over the top. Over the top.
You have to do that. Oh no!
Come on, Georgie.
Come on.
Go.
Come on.
All right, Lorenzo. All right, that's good. That's good. Right there.
Oh, look at it. You see it? By the white buoy. You see that big old? You see that big shadow?
The Lincoln shark or barracuda or big tarpon is cousin. Here.
Did it cross it? What happened with that?
I don't know.
All right, you're good, Lorenzo. Come on. Come on, bro. They're just like that. Sit on it. Pull it up. Ready? Here, ready? Pull it up, nice and easy. And now reel down. Go. Come on. Pull it up. Not quite.
You got a whale on.
Charlie, watch out, man.
There was something big over there.
Do you think it's a tarpon?
I don't know.
Oh
He
no!
popped?
Go. Bring it in fast. He's still on.
He popped off.
No, he didn't.
No, go.
He's on.
Reel.
Okay, walk him down, reel. Walk him down and reel. Over the top of Dave's rod. Come on, walk him down and reel. Reel, son, reel. Reel, son.
Go.
Come on.
Real hard.
I feel like I hooked onto the Titanic.
Hard.
He's definitely on?
Yeah.
Come on, baby.